You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take on your family or business and benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. A very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender on Ron Siegel Radio. Lynda Eisenmann is with us. Preferred Home Brokers, welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Always good to be with you.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators to anybody.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. We're going to see if the team has spoofed me once again today. We'll see what happens. Today is National Pecan Cookie Day. So if you were watching us, they didn't do it. Okay, that's cool. If you're watching us yesterday, and you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, I frequently kid my graphics department about not having whipped cream on items that could basically have whipped cream on them. I like whipped cream. So yesterday, even on the pepperoni pizza, they put whipped cream. So, yes, I get it. They got me. But today, the National Pecan Cookie Day, no whipped cream. But it looks good anyway. Yeah, we might have to try some of those. National Chai Tea Day. I'm not a chai tea drinker. I've never tried chai tea. I don't know much about it. But again, it doesn't have any whipped cream, so it's okay. And today is also New York Day. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go there at all. Of course, if you go there, you may not get out. It used to be a great place to go to. Well, when I first started going to New York, it was a tough place to go to. Then it got to be, it was a real fun place, good place, safe place. Mm-hmm. And look what they've done to it now. Hire the wrong people, look what happens. Take a look at the markets today. Does it really matter what the markets are doing right now? Until about 11 o'clock California time today, it's not going to really matter at all. What's happening at 11 o'clock? Well, we get the announcement from the Federal Reserve. They're going to tell us what their plans are. Now, we know that they're going to increase interest rates by 0.75%. They already told their mole, so that came out. We have an idea about that one. Doubt it'll change, but 0.75%. Does that affect your mortgage rate? Maybe. What it really is going to affect is credit cards. If you've got a variable or an adjustable credit card, if you've got a home equity line of credit, it'll affect that. But if the market believes when Jerome Powell starts his press conference at 11:30 our time, that the Federal Reserve has a handle on inflation, we might actually see that even though the Federal Reserve increases interest rates, that mortgage rates might drop. So we'll watch that one for you. But as we speak right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 153 points. The S&P 500 is up 20. The NASDAQ is up 41. Oil is down another $1 a barrel. Almost time for Joe Biden to start buying oil. He told us that he was going to start buying when it hit $80 a barrel. So we'll see if that's true. Although right now it's fascinating to me. And I've owned businesses. I've led businesses, led groups. And it's amazing to me how the President of the United States comes out and tells the people, we the people, something in a speech, and within hours or days after that, his cabinet is saying the opposite. Now, I understand the village people don't understand exactly what's going on in politics. Oh, I shouldn't say the village people. His cabinet doesn't understand, but he's the president. Generally, the president sets the policy and the others either follow the policy or they get out. They have that option. But to come out the next day and say the exact opposite of what the president is saying, what does that tell us? What does that tell the world about the president and who's running the country? Well, we don't know who's running the country, do we? So he's at the United Nations today. That's going to be scary. I haven't heard his speech yet, but that'll be fascinating to see what comes of that one. Unbelievable, though. A lot of interesting things going on in the world right now. Elections have consequences. We've got one coming up here in California fairly soon. It's amazing looking at what some of these different issues are and the ballots. I'm going to probably try and get some folks to come in here and chat with us about some of the ballot propositions that are coming up. I like to do that frequently, what I do, just because this is a home and finance show. I try and get some of the chambers of commerce CEOs or presidents from the local area to come in and give their opinions on these and what the chamber's opinions are on some of the propositions. We don't get to all of them, but we'll try to get to some of them. We'll do that sometime, probably toward the middle of next month. We'll probably bring that in and chat about that one. We're going to change our format just a little bit today because we do have a lot going on, and I want to get to our topic of the day, reverse mortgages, and can a senior buy a home with a reverse mortgage? But changing our topics around just a little bit. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as I shared with you a little earlier, the S&P 500 is up about 18 points. 10-year Treasury is down 1 basis point. Mortgage-backed securities are down 2 basis points. You know what that means? Absolutely nothing, because they're basically flat and the markets are waiting to hear what Jerome Powell has to say. But what did we learn that is new information today? Housing news. Existing home sales measures closings on existing homes showed that sales were down 0.4% in August at a 4.8 million annualized pace, which was stronger than expectations of a 2.5% decline. On a year-over-year basis, sales are down 20%. Inventory appears to have crested, as it does every time this year. Nothing new there after the normal season build, and declined from 1.31 million to 1.28 million. There's now 3.2 months supply of homes, which is tight because 6 months is considered balanced. But if you look at the active listings, there are only 779,000 active listings, which means that 39% of the inventory in the existing homes report is under contract and really not available. This speaks to demand, as a normal market has 25% of the inventory under contract. When looking at month's supply of available homes, it's really 1.9%. And while there are reports that homes are sitting longer on the market, you probably know better than that.
You know better than that.
If they're priced properly, they are selling quickly. The average days on market increased slightly from 14 days to 16 days. So they're still selling fast if priced properly. If they're not priced properly, we get price reductions, which we hadn't had that in a long time. About 40% of the market right now of the single family homes on the market in the U.S. have had a price reduction, 40%. Now, I told you yesterday or the day before, or last week, 92807 in Anaheim, 62% of the properties have had a price reduction. What does that tell you about how they're being priced initially? When properties are selling quickly and you have two out of three have a price reduction? We'll see. First-time home buyers accounted for 29% of sales, which is unchanged from the previous report. Cash buyers accounted for 24% of sales, remained stable. Investors purchased 16% of the homes, up from 14%. So a lot of different changes right in there. But again, the first-time home buyer, we've been talking about that. But that is, if you're getting out there, that's the new home formations, household formations, I guess is the best way to put it. 1.6 to 1.7 million new home formations every single year. And we're only adding 1.3 million new homes each year. Well, what does that tell you? It's the supply and demand, economics 101. Josh, we probably should put that link to that economics 101 broadcast in every show. I mean, it's just amazing how much that's happening. It's just fascinating to me how we continue to watch some of these numbers and they continue kind of misleading a little bit, right? I mean, I hear people saying, well, the housing market is crashing or we're heading for a bubble. Well, Economics 101 seems to contradict that. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. Visit Credit Sanitizer for a free audit of your credit report. And our education portion this morning, what is a credit score? A credit score tells lenders about your credit worthiness, how likely you are to pay back a loan based on your credit history. Calculated using the information in your credit reports, FICO scores are the standard for credit scores used by 90% of top lenders. Credit scores influence the credit that's available to a person and the terms, the interest rate, etc., that lenders may offer. It's a vital part of credit health. When you apply for credit, whether for a credit card, an auto loan, or mortgage, lenders want to know what risk they'd take by loaning money. When lenders order a credit report, they can also request a credit score that's based on the information in the report. Credit score helps lenders evaluate a credit report. It is a number that summarizes credit risk based on a snapshot of a credit report at a particular point in time. Important to understand that not every score offered for sale online is a FICO score. You need to learn the difference between credit scores and FICO scores. And be aware, the scores are not saved anywhere. So a score is actually generated the minute you or somebody else requests the score. So if you wait 10 minutes and pull it again, likelihood is it'll be different. So got to understand that part of it as well. Most widely used credit scores are FICO scores. The credit scores created by easy for me to say, Fair Isaac Corporation. 90% of top lenders use FICO scores to help them make billions of credit-related decisions every year. FICO scores are calculated based only on information in a consumer's credit report maintained by the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. By comparing this information to patterns in hundreds of thousands of past credit reports, FICO scores estimate your level of future credit risk and how likely you are to repay a loan. What is a good credit score? Most credit scores have a 300 to 850 score range. The higher the score, the lower the risk to lenders. A good credit score is considered to be in the 670 to 739 range. Less than 580, that's poor. This credit score is well below the average score of U.S. consumers and demonstrates to lenders that the borrower may be a risk. 580 to 669 is fair. This credit score is below the average score of U.S. consumers, though many lenders will approve loans with this score. 670 to 739 is good. This credit score is near or slightly above the average of U.S. consumers, and most lenders consider this a good score. 740 to 799 is very good. This credit score is above the average of U.S. consumers and demonstrates to lenders that the borrower is very dependable. And 800 plus, this is exceptional. This credit score is well above the average score of U.S. consumers and clearly demonstrates to lenders that the borrower is an exceptionally low risk. While many lenders use credit scores like FICO scores to help them make lending decisions, each lender has its own strategy, including the level of risk it finds acceptable. There is no single quote-unquote cutoff score used by all lenders, and there are many additional factors that lenders may use to determine your actual interest rate. When a credit score is calculated, the credit bureau will also provide up to 5 reasons that are most heavily influencing that particular score. You need to know what's in your report. The minimum required to calculate a credit score, for a credit score to be calculated, your credit report must contain enough information and enough recent information on which to base a credit score. Generally, that means you must have at least one account that has been open for 6 months or longer, and at least one account that has been reported to the credit bureau within the past 6 months. What are the minimum requirements to have a FICO score? Different scores at each credit bureau. Because each credit bureau could have different information on file about you, your scores will most likely differ for each of the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Sometimes the difference is just a few points. Other times the difference in your credit scores from each bureau can be vast due to an error or mistake in your credit report. Surprise, surprise. These differences can cost you thousands over the life of a loan. Be sure to check your reports regularly or sign up for alerts to be notified when your score changes. As the information in your credit report changes, so will any new credit score based on your credit report. Your credit scores from a month ago are probably not the same score a lender would get from the credit bureau today. Other credit scores or FICO scores? Yeah, there are some of the others. I call them FACO scores. While FICO scores are used 90% of top lenders, there are other credit scores made available to consumers. Other credit scores may evaluate your credit report differently than FICO scores. When purchasing a credit score for yourself, most experts recommend getting a FICO score, again, as FICO scores are used in 90% of the lending decisions. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. I promise you it's wrong. I've been looking at credit reports for the better part of 3 decades. The best score I've ever seen is an 834.
Wow.
And I've never, ever, did I say ever, seen a credit report that's completely accurate? Never. Even the 834, I saw errors on that report. So do you think yours is accurate? I'm just throwing that out there. So let's chat. Lynda Eisenmann, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Ron.
So last time you were here after the broadcast, you and I were chatting, which we frequently do, and we thought of this idea of how do we help some folks who may or may not know that, well, they know that they're aging. They may or may not know that they can buy a house with an optional mortgage payment.
That's true.
So let's maybe we could start with the idea of you've got a house along the coast or close by work and been making payments on it. You didn't use it as an ATM. And hopefully, right? And got a lot of equity, and you sell the property, and you come up with, I don't know, $400,000 or $500,000 in equity that you cash out, and decide you want to do, well, like you've done, gone out to the desert, Coachella Valley,
right?
Not retired, but out in the
That's
Coachella
correct.
Valley.
I'm still in Orange County.
You're but dual.
That's correct.
Maybe when you get to the later part of life, you're deciding that you want to retire.
You mean when I give up the wonderful world of real estate?
Exactly.
Oh, that's not an easy thing to do. I'm a lifer.
You got too many families to help.
I'm a life. Oh, well.
Right? I mean, a
That
lot of families to help.
Well, you know what? And we're the same age. I mean, if I'm talking about seniors that I'm working with, which I love working with seniors, there is a senior designation, senior real estate specialist, and that comes from the National Association of Realtors.
Okay.
And it's additional classes, courses, that sort of thing, just like any other designation that you would earn as a realtor. But it's where you specialize in working with seniors. And it's a wonderful opportunity to help people along the way.
Many of them are well, many of them are they know what they know. They don't know what they don't know. Like
That's-
all of us.
That's true. Like
Right?
all of us, you're right.
And so you come up with this $400,000 or $500,000 in equity, and say, well, that's part of what I was planning on living on for the rest of my life, right? But now you need a place to live. So part of our conversation today is we want to talk, okay, how do you go and buy that house that you want and not have to use up all that equity, which may have been locked in your house anyway?
It was most likely, yes.
And the issue then becomes, you start getting into your later years and you've decided maybe you don't want to work. Well, it becomes hard to qualify for a loan for a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 house anymore.
You're right.
But it's not that hard to qualify for the reverse mortgage, right? That one gives us,
Yes,
that one-
absolutely.
that one gives us. So now when we figure that as a round number, rule of thumb, we can put 50% as a down payment. And I know it's going to vary, but just because it's easy for me to do math that way.
Works
right?
for me too.
So if we take half of the money that we just liberated, 200,000, and we can buy a $400,000 property, are there properties available in the Coachella Valley if we wanted to move out in that area in that $400,000 or $500,000?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
There are. Actually, there's quite a few in my development, and I'm in a nice development there. But you can buy something in pretty much 4 to about 650 right now.
4 to 650.
Yeah,
is
and
where
that
you
would
need
buy
to be.
you a 2-bedroom. It's actually detached, but a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home, about 1,650 square feet.
Not too big, not too small.
That's correct. That's a very nice size. Anywhere from 14 to 1,800 for a couple or even a single person. I think it's a nice size.
Sure, because you don't want to have too much to clean and maintain.
Absolutely, maintenance.
And when you're talking about detached, is that gonna be a condo type property, or is it going to be a single family? Am I going to have yard work? And
It would be more like a planned unit development.
okay,
And a planned unit development may or may not be attached. Sometimes they're built in pairs. Sometimes they're completely detached. It just depends upon the development and also the age of the development. Because I think more of the newer construction, I think more of those are going to be attached. They're going to have at least one common wall. Because I think it cuts down on the overall cost of construction for home builders to build something that's maybe paired versus two completely detached homes.
so are most of the properties that you're seeing we're only using Coachella Valley because I know that you know it.
Well, and there's a
And-
large number of those homes available.
And it's retiree areas.
Right. That's correct.
So, are those newer developments, or are they existing or older properties?
Both.
They're both.
By the way, it's retirees and also people who are not necessarily ready to retire, but maybe winding down and they no longer want the larger home that they lived in. Maybe they live in a large home in Yorba Linda and they've got a big yard, and maybe they're just tired of taking care of all that work. And maybe they're not ready to quite, to fully retire, but they're looking for something in between.
So kind of right sizing.
There's a lot of people like that. That's correct.
So what I see is the graduation, so to speak, or sort of a slow migration.
It's a stepping stone.
That's the
Yeah,
word,
it's a stepping
right? So
stone. Mhm.
you're working part-time,
Mhm.
12 hours a day, and you decide that maybe I want to take a long weekend more
Yeah.
often.
That's right. Boy,
Not-
I know that.
And not in August, because you're not going to want to go there in August too much.
I go in August.
Do you really?
Oh, I do. I go year round. Oh my gosh, yes.
Is there a lot of people there year round?
No, matter of fact, it's so funny. I was counting the lights. I have a lake in the middle of my development,
Okay.
and there's a really nice walking path all the way around the lake. And I was counting the homes after dark that had lights on. And by the way, this is a gated community, so if you're looking to burgle something, this is not the place. So what I'm getting at though is, I would say, in my neighborhood, maybe 1 out of 12 are occupied right now. The rest,
Wow.
I know it's a huge number.
1 out of 12.
1 out of 12. Well, we have to remember some of them are truly snowbird homes.
Okay.
All right. And then the people who live there permanently, there are times that they find a cooler place to spend a month or 2 months or 3 months this time of year.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, it wouldn't have been coming to the coast. You're listening to Ron
That's
Siegel
true.
Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, top reasons homeowners are selling their houses right now. And in our Better Outcomes segment, what does it take to be a game changer? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1890, the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com. rsrhomescout.com. Top reasons homeowners are selling their houses right now. Some people believe there's a group of homeowners who may be reluctant to sell their houses because they don't want to lose the historically low mortgage rate they have on their current home. You may even have the same hesitation if you're thinking about selling your house. Data shows 51% of homeowners have a mortgage rate under 4% as of April this year. And while it's true mortgage rates are higher than that right now, there are other non-financial factors to consider when it comes to making a move. In other words, your mortgage rate is important, but you may have other things going on in your life that make a move essential, regardless of where rates are today. Jessica Lotz, Vice President of Demographics and Behavioral Insights at the National Association of Realtors, NAR, explains, quote, home sellers have historically moved when something in their lives changed. A new baby, a marriage, a divorce, a new job, unquote. So if you're thinking about selling your house, it may help to explore the other reasons homeowners are choosing to make a move today. The 2022 Summer Sellers Survey by Realtor.com asked recent home sellers why they decided to sell. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our socials, you're seeing a chart. The visual shows a breakdown, how those homeowners responded. 31% want different features and amenities. 29% home no longer meets their needs. 26% need a home office to work. 23% want to be closer to loved ones. 22% want a smaller house that's less work. 17% no longer need to live near their office. As our chart shows, an appetite for different features or the fact that the current home could no longer meet their needs top the list of recent sellers. Additionally, remote work and whether or not they need a home office or are tied to a specific physical location also factored in, as did the desire to live close to their loved ones. The Realtor.com survey summarizes the findings like this, quote, the primary reason homeowners decided to sell in the last year was the realization that after so much time spent at home, they wanted different features and amenities such as walkability, outdoor space, pool, etc., unquote. If you like the homeowners they surveyed, find yourself wanting features, space, or amenities your current home just cannot provide, it may be time to consider listing your house for sale. Even with today's mortgage rates, and you know about our payment assistance plan, that can get you into the 4s, maybe the 3s or the 2s. Your lifestyle may be enough to motivate you to make a change. Best way to find out what's right for you is to partner with a trusted real estate professional who can provide expert guidance and advice throughout the process. They can help walk you through your options so you make a confident decision based on what matters most to you and your loved ones. Bottom line, while the financial reasons for moving are important, there's often far more to consider. Non-financial reasons can also be a significant motivating factor. If you need help weighing the pros and cons of selling your house, give me a call. And as always, I suggest if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, give them my number. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continue our conversation with Lynda Eisenmann this morning, Preferred Home Brokers. We're chatting about aging and moving maybe to a retirement area. Lynda, during the break, I brought up a chart that I get every week on some, I'm the numbers nerd, right? So,
I know you are. You love them.
La Quinta, California, probably somewhere you know well.
I do.
So the median list price in La Quinta, California, as of today, of the prices that are available for sale, and there are 210 of them.
Lots. Single
family. It's just the single families. $796,975. Median price of the new listings is $782,000. Average days on the market is 65. Median days, 56. This is the number that got me. The number of price decreases is 48%.
That doesn't surprise me.
Really? Okay.
No, I think there's more speculation there in general.
Okay. Median rent, $5,897.
I think that is somewhat skewed a little bit because you're talking most likely about people who were renting during the season.
Okay.
And the people in the season pay about double of those that are there year round. So.
Okay, so if that's double, then 2,900 is right in line with
probably
with most areas.
Yeah.
And when you look at what we call the market action index, telling us how the market is, it's slightly above, it's slightly into the seller's market, slight seller's advantage right now is what the data shows. All this, if you want this information, it's very readily available. Josh is going to put up the link on there on the screen because I never remember it. It's I'll wait for him to put it up there. It's from our friends over at Altos Research. We get this every week from our friends over at Altos Research. And even though we're going to give you list, I don't know, Josh, when Josh gets it, I'll announce it, but you can put any zip code in America that you want and it'll give you the information. List ANA, something like that. I don't know. There it is, rsrlistyl.com, rsrlistyl.com. That'll get you the Your Belinda data, rsrlistyl.com. And then you can put any zip code you want. I just put in 92253 because I remember that one from La Quinta.
Thank you. I remember that one too.
Yeah, it's one of the only zip codes I remember out in the valley.
Oh,
there.
That's funny.
But maybe it's because my wife and I like it out there.
Well,
so
you should consider it.
We are
Good.
But Josh makes me come in and do a radio show every day. So what the heck?
Oh, you can remote, I'm sure.
So we'll continue our conversation, chatting about going out into the Coachella Valley, and so I want to get personal with you.
Okay.
So you started your business, if I understand correctly, North Orange County.
That's correct.
And you've migrated to now you're both in North Orange County and the Coachella Valley.
Correct.
How was the transition for you?
Well, it's taken me a little while because I've been a homeowner there now, actually for quite a while. So it's only been more recently that I've been active in the real estate market there. So it's a transition. In a lot of ways it's similar, in other ways it's different, if that makes sense.
Sure. So are you comfortable now in well, look at me on my size, the restaurants you want to go to, the places you want to enjoy?
Without a doubt. That does not take long.
Yeah. There's a lot of good ones out there.
There are all up and down 111. And a few hidden gems back and forth, a few other places. Yes.
So you have to spend some time to find the hidden gem.
Well, I think,
or follow Lynda on social
call
media.
Me. Yeah. Text me, reach out to me.
Yeah. Because you got some good ones. I mean, I go out there not nearly as much as you do. I enjoy going out there. And I've got my list of restaurants and I watch some of the places you're at. And, gosh, I didn't even know about that one.
Oh, is that right?
Well, that one, was it Tack Room or?
Oh, the Tack Room. Oh my gosh, that's a real local favorite. That is such a local fave. I'm there. I shouldn't say, but probably once a week.
Oh, nice.
I just love that place. And the reason for it is it's very eclectic. It's very casual. It's right. It's constructed or it's on the grounds of the polo fields. That's where it is. And sometimes a year you have a real horsey smell when you get out because you literally have horses right there. But it's just a wonderful facility. It's very casual, easygoing, indoor, outdoor dining.
So what does very casual mean in the Coachella Valley? I mean, is it like going in shorts? Am I going in?
Actually, last week I did go in shorts.
Okay.
I went in shorts and a shirt.
And from what I've seen, a good portion of the
Most-
region there.
Most of the valley is very casual.
So
Most of it. There's only a few places where you really need to dress somewhat.
The definition of dress up means you put on a button-down shirt with shorts.
Well, you can have a button. Yeah, probably. Yes.
A little different.
Yes. And the other thing about the tack room that's really nice, that I feel like I'm doing a commercial for them.
Right.
I guess I am. But
We'll send them the bill, Josh.
in the past, it used to be a little tight as far as seating and that sort of thing. But a few years ago, they really expanded the outdoor area, and the outdoor area is just absolutely wonderful. And throughout most of the year, midsummer obviously it's hotter than others, and it's a little challenging. But they've got lots of huge big fans, misters, all kinds of things that you could want, and still enjoy the atmosphere of the outdoors, the desert in the evening, late afternoon or evening.
That's fascinating when you talk about something, because we don't really talk about it in Orange County or most parts of where we're broadcasting, is misters.
Oh, you're right.
Right? I mean,
Right.
Misters are something that's really unique to the valley.
Misters are important to the valley, absolutely, and they've got them all over the tack room now. They only had them in a smaller area to begin with, but there's a large area, a geography that has the outdoor misters now.
So let's get back to chatting about our aging and deciding to go in with the options for the senior community.
Mhm.
What else do I need to know about when I'm thinking about downsizing or selling my property, or going from, like we talked about the big house in Yorba Linda to a retirement home, a smaller home? Is it take some? When you've helped people do this, is it a big culture shock for them, as far as, they're used to having 75 drawers in the kitchen and now they're down to 50?
It's a process.
Okay.
It's absolutely a process. It usually doesn't happen overnight. People think about moving to the desert for a long time before they do. And matter of fact, a very good realtor friend of mine many, many years ago told me how many million people they expected the valley to grow. And I said, well, and this particular realtor was in the desert, but he also was from the South Bay. Very well educated, broker, owner, many years, a lot of experience. And I said, Mark, you're talking about all these people moving to the valley. Where are they all coming from? First of all, you want to know where they're coming from. And he said, Lynda, they're coming exactly from where you are. They're coming from LA County. They're coming from Orange County, and a few of them from Riverside County, San Bernardino and Riverside County, but mostly LA and Orange County. And most of the people that I have walking into my open houses, they're out on the weekend looking. And they're somewhere in LA, they're somewhere in the valley, and they're ready to, get out of Dodge and move to the desert.
Okay, I'm going to give you a tough question.
Okay.
If that's the case,
Yes.
When I go all over the Coachella Valley at football season,
Yes.
all I see is Seahawks flags. I don't know why that is.
Oh my! Oh yeah. And Monday Night Football at the bar at Seahawk night, packed.
Yeah, it's all.
Place is packed.
I don't know. Maybe there's Seahawk fans and coming from Orange County. I don't know.
No, they're not. They're coming from Washington. I've had a fair number of them.
It's amazing. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Lynda Eisenmann and what does it take to be a game changer? All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Better Outcome segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Everybody wants to be a game changer, but few know how to do so. An appropriately diverse divorce team has a range of team players, including the attorney, financial planner, accountant, appraiser, mediator, and divorce mortgage planner. Every team member has a significant role in ensuring the divorcing client is set to succeed post-decree. A solid divorce team with the right players can be the true game changer in divorce. The benefits of having a diverse divorce team. Diverse skills allow the divorce team to think about a specific problem in a different and often more strategic way. Looking at a problem from different angles and drawing on a wealth of experience and knowledge from all team members allows for innovative and creative solutions. Number one, divorce teams fill in the knowledge gap. The reality is that no one knows everything, so teams solve problems faster when they're more cognitively diverse. Number two, diverse teams fill in the perspective gap. Perspective is the capacity to view or think about a situation or problem wisely and reasonably. Number three, diverse teams fill in the experience gap. Experience mostly comes through time, but can also come from focused learning and specialization. Leadership is about getting things done with and through other people. When leaders commit to building a diverse team and utilizing each person's unique contribution, the overall team can experience more success in a shorter period, translating to a better outcome for the divorcing couple. The CDLP brings tremendous value to the divorce team during the settlement process because of their stronger knowledge, perspective, and experience of the entire divorce process than other mortgage professionals. In addition, their understanding of the intersection between family law, financial and tax planning, real property, and mortgage planning truly separates them from other mortgage professionals in the industry. Certified divorce lending professionals have a completely different perspective when looking at a divorce settlement agreement and participating in the actual settlement or mediation process with the remainder of the professional divorce team. A CDLP doesn't look at the divorce settlement agreement and how it applies to the borrower's mortgage application. They have a much wider viewpoint and understanding of the entire process, a deeper and stronger perspective of the overall impact divorce has on the divorcing borrower. One of the most important team members is one of the most important members in the divorce process is the financial neutral. The financial neutral is an impartial expert in his or her field with primary role of educating all participants, including the divorcing people, their attorneys, and other divorce professionals, as to the financial implications of divorce. Financial advisors are most commonly known as financial neutrals in a divorce case, but what about when you drill deeper into the marital home and mortgage planning? When a primary asset of the marital estate is the marital home and other real estate assets, having a certified divorce lending professional as a financial neutral on the team becomes increasingly desirable. In many divorce settings, negotiations break down over financial issues or concerns, oftentimes leading to litigation. The CDLP as a financial neutral offers both parties a balanced, thorough financial evaluation of the mortgage and future mortgage financing requirements and offers realistic solutions to obstacles in negotiations. Depending on each situation, the CDLP can perform a variety of functions in a collaborative divorce, such as assisting with the collaborative process by offering solutions and needs for both spouses to obtain immediate and future mortgage financing, providing guidance on affordability and financing needs to support an equity buyout and refinance of the marital home, offering an analysis of the ability of one spouse to meet mortgage financing guidelines using support income as maintenance and or child support as qualifying income, analyzing debt payoff situations to meet mortgage financing requirements, and offering solutions for payoffs, identifying and gathering necessary financial documentation to assist with mortgage financing needs. In all scenarios, the CDLP Financial Neutral is focused on assisting clients and lawyers in generating feasible mortgage financing options and understanding the future financial impact of those options. Financial neutrals should not only be savvy when it comes to various mortgage financing issues, but also be keen problem solvers and be able to offer realistic solutions to guide decision making. Give us a call if you want more information on this, 800-306-1990, $19.90. And you can get the My DYM workbook, Divorcing Your Mortgage Workbook, mydymworkbook.com. Fill that out, and we'll send you back a report on all of your real property. That is the Better Outcome segment, brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Continuing our conversation with Lynda Eisenmann, we're chatting about aging and the idea of buying a home if we're lucky enough to age, right?
We hope we do.
Exactly.
When you consider the alternative, of course we hope we do.
Absolutely. So we started chatting about relocating and stepping stone. Give me a few ideas when you're talking about the designation that you mentioned earlier, the senior. What is that? The
initials are SRES.
Okay.
SRES. That stands for the Senior Real Estate Specialist, and it's a member of the National Association of Realtors, who has taken the time to obtain the education, go through the process of earning the designation. And it's a series of classes about working with seniors, working with the needs of seniors, fulfilling what their most important priorities are, and really working with seniors in general, because it is a little different.
So, I mean, if I'm, 50 or 70, is there an idea? Is there something that stands out to you as to what differing needs you would have when it comes to, I start out with a consultation with you, right? To understand, so you can understand what my needs are.
That's correct.
Is the consultation going to be a little different?
It is.
Okay.
But I will tell you, the biggest priority for a senior, and that's why the desert is so friendly, is a single-story home. Meaning one level, and not just one level, but one level without having steps up and steps down. Because many of us who live in Orange County, you could live in a one-level home, but you could have a step-down living room, you could have a step-up dining room, you could have a raised entry. You still have steps to get up and down. In the desert, it's less likely. It's completely flat. My home in the desert is just barely under 2,000 square feet. There's not a step anywhere.
Wow.
Absolutely none. Everything is flat from the minute you walk in the door. And almost every single home that I see, one we just put into escrow, we're putting into escrow today, a little newer than my home, a little different development, completely flat, 2,497 square feet, not a step anywhere. And in addition to that, very wide hallways, which is also important. And that's part of newer construction too. Builders are building that way, but they're building more open. They're building more spacious.
I noticed that out in the desert, there's a lot of real open property.
Oh, absolutely.
Open floor plans.
They have to be. They absolutely have to be. One room connects to the other room very, very easily. Wide hallways are very important.
I noticed some of them, you look at the kitchen and it's part of the family room and the living room and the dining room, and
it's almost all in one.
Yeah, you have to put a couch or a carpet in so you know where your difference.
I've got one exactly like that right now. The entryway is so large, people absolutely love it when they walk in the minute they walk in the door. And the first thing they say is, "Oh my gosh, there's so much room." And it's very easily maneuverable. There are a couple of hallways within this home, 2 additional bedrooms, but they're very wide hallways.
So one of the biggest challenges I hear, especially in the Coachella Valley and in some of the other areas, is the homeowners associations.
That could be an issue for a lot. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you find that people are, some of them, the big benefit is they've got so many amenities.
They do.
But you use them.
I will tell you, it's a challenge to find a neighborhood that does not have an association.
Okay.
It is a challenge.
Okay, so we're watching that now. What about one of the things that I hear about a lot from seniors, and unfortunately, there's a lot of scammers out there that take advantage of seniors, is security.
Yes.
Do you find that there's more security with do the gated communities offer legitimate security, or is it a false sense of hope?
I think it depends. There are gated communities where you have a key card, and you put the key card in the little place that you drive up to and you drive in. Now, there is no way of knowing exactly who is going to have that key card. At least I imagine that there's not. That's a little different than if you go into a development that has a manned gate, meaning a gate guarded entrance.
The keeper.
That's right. That's right. The keeper of the neighborhood. And I will tell you, they know you. They know your car before you drive in. And if there's somebody new that's there, You literally get stopped right there until they know exactly who you are. If they know you and they know your vehicle, which most of them do, if they're one of the regulars, then they'll wave you in, because there's usually one side of an entrance that's for visitors and the other side, it's a double entrance. For example, one lane is for visitors, the other lane would be for residents. And every one of us who is a resident either has some kind of emblem on our windshield that identifies that, or you have a sensor that will open the gate, one or the other, depending upon the development and the gate.
Nice.
Yeah, it
So
is.
that does add a bit of comfort there. Now, be aware, if you're going out to the desert, you want to make sure that you go with somebody who knows what they're talking about, because I have gone and put the address of where I'm going to into my GPS, and it took me to a gate that was not manned and didn't have a sensor or anything like that. And being a guest, I had to try and figure out, well, how do I get in now?
It happens all the time. That actually, it happens at my development.
Does it really?
Yes, because we have one gate that's manned and the other is an homeowner or visit, not homeowner, but an occupant gate.
Okay.
So where you can exit through the occupant gate. And very large developments, there's a development right near me that actually has 4 different gates. It's 1 mile square. It's actually a section of land. If you remember when you got your real estate license,
Sure.
you had to learn how the state of California was divided. And it's divided into sections. And each section is 640 acres.
Okay.
That's a large piece of property.
Sure. Big, very big.
And this is one development in particular that I am working in right now. I've got a listing there. We're opening escrow on it today, but it's a very large development and it has 4 gates, 3 of which are homeowner gates. So homeowners can come and go through those gates. The main gate is where the visitors go through, and homeowners can also go through the gate, not the gate, but the road that will let you in as a homeowner. But it's very, very typical to have manned gates in the desert.
Now, do you find most of the folks that are going out there that are seniors, are they financing properties or are they paying cash for them?
That's a good question. A large number of them do pay cash. I have not had one buy there in the desert yet with a reverse mortgage. I've had a couple other reverse mortgage purchases, but they were in Orange County. And what's interesting about a reverse mortgage purchase, my very first reverse mortgage purchase I had was very, very many years ago, a long time ago. And it was the first one. And quite frankly, I hadn't heard of it at that time. But my buyer was an escrow officer. So she was so knowledgeable about the process and about the program in general. She was my very first purchase with a reverse mortgage.
Interesting. Okay. So then the question that I would have is, are these sellers willing? Now, I know a reverse mortgage is going to take a little longer than a traditional mortgage.
A little, but not that much.
So the sellers are willing to be patient for that?
I haven't had an issue with it. I've only had a few, though. I will tell you, I've only had a few.
Okay.
And a lot of it comes down to pricing. I mean, if they get their price, a lot of times they're willing
to be
longer. And I don't think most seniors are in that big of a hurry. Most of them have another place to go to. Maybe they already have a home and they're selling their desert home. So it's not the frenzy that we're used to maybe in Orange and LA counties, for example.
So Sandy says, hate open concept, hate steps, hate HOA. I can understand that. There's a lot of people that have that same thought. There's developments we can find without those out there.
You can. Not many of them, though, Sandy, I will tell you. And like anything, there are advantages and disadvantages to both.
Absolutely.
There really are.
Absolutely.
Really are.
Pat, your friend, mine, Pat Velling.
Oh, Pat. Hi, Pat.
I sent La Quinta stats to you on your page. Too late for use in your show. Glad you could share it, and we'll have to get them from you sooner, Pat. We shared some numbers from Altos Research, but I love having your data to share with our audience as well.
Oh, you did, Pat. You're right. Thank you so much. Pat's great. He's the go-to guy when it comes to knowing the numbers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great information.
He does.
So, where do you like more? Do you like being out there more? Or do you have a preference at this stage?
I'm still an Orange County person.
Still an Orange County
but
person.
It's changing. It's shifting. I'll tell you that.
Probably easier to ride your bike out there.
Oh, yeah. I bet, you know why? 'Cause it's flat.
Yeah, there you go.
I live in the hills of Brea.
Okay.
Tough to ride. I can't even ride my bike in my own neighborhood. I can ride my bike at the beach, on the beach path.
We'll
No.
have to get the e-bike for you.
Oh, no. I'll still pedal.
Still, well, you can do that with your e-bike.
I guess you can.
Great information as always. If you want to talk about a reverse mortgage for purchase, give us a call. There's a lot of myths out there. We've just put out a new form. Our team put it out. All the myths, or some of the big myths of the reverse mortgage. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.